But it sounds like we're about to jump into our game now. All
Let's see
right.
what we got.
It's happening, guys. Let's get going. Game number 1, Ramen versus Valdemar. And here we are. All right. And it is Coastal Cliffs. All right. Very, very nice. So we're going to be having some very, very aggressive games here. Ramen on the Chinese. So this map, one of the main characteristics of this map is going to be that stone, like your starting stone, is very, very far away from your main base. So 2TC, as China usually likes to go for, is not going to be an option here. Instead, most likely we're just going to be seeing Song Dynasty here coming in from Ramen.
So also a 2 Sacred Side map here on Coastal Cliffs. By the way, made by Avely, shout out to him. What do you think here? What is the game plan for the Chinese to hold this Delhi aggression? Let's take a look at those resources. We've got the double deer pack for Ramen in front.
Great, actually. You
mean,
put
this
a Barbican
and
there.
there's a boar right next to
Yeah,
it.
it's a boar and double deer for Ramen potentially here, relatively close to a Sacred Site as well. That has to be it, right? Like, that has to be it. You put like 2 villagers over there, you drop the Barbican there. Your opponent won't be able to stop that. And suddenly you have like food for the entire game. And there's also a wood line there. You got all of your main resources there.
I mean, the gold being like just behind that is also pretty nice.
If you lure the boar a little bit, maybe you can get that in. It might be a bit greedy, but I think legitimately that must be like an A+ tier spawn for China potentially in this game.
Yeah, Marine Lord called, he wants his spawn back.
All right, Valdemar bringing back the sheep, scouting roughly half the map. Ramen, though, I mean, the Chinese scout, they do have extra on the left side. He's got a good sheep hole there as well. Looks like he also scouted a little bit of Valdemar's side there with it as well. He's now going to just follow the route that Valdemar's scout took, but overall, both players, they got a pretty good amount of sheep, so no major discrepancies there. No move out yet from Ramen when it comes to his age up, so I'm guessing he probably will start with the Imperial Academy first and then go for the Barbican later on. There it is. Imperial Academy is now going to be coming in right up against the wood line. Is going to be able to make the most out of the taxes there from that wood line. Usually wood is like the main one that you want because it just generates the most drop-off, so the most taxes in the end. Tower of Victory on the other hand side coming in for Valdemar. And it's probably just going to be like the normal Delhi opener, I would assume. Like you get another Scholar in, or at least another Scholar in queue. After that, once Feudal Age comes in, you just start out with a couple of Ghazi Raiders, maybe add a Blacksmith behind that. And after that, you just try to take Sacred Sites, add more units, and get that Delhi flood going. Round with the Chinese on the other hand side, he will just want to prolong the game a little bit, deny the Sacred Sites for as long as possible, if he will make some units earlier on. He just wants to get as much scaling going with that Song Dynasty as possible, as he will be getting villagers in every 15 seconds instead of every 20 seconds once he reaches that Song Dynasty.
Yeah, how are you liking the Imperial Academy placement for Ramen here?
I'm gonna say it's not the best. At least he deleted that village. That would have been an awful spot for a village. Instead, puts
I
it on
heard
the
you
other
crying
side.
inside when I saw that foundation.
I'm also not a big fan of the mill placement. I think the mill, like, with that many sheep, like it's just worth putting the mill closer to your Imperial Academy. You're doubling the tax income that you get out of that, so that's definitely something that could be done there. Also, when you put like the mill literally right next to your TC, so you still get like the supervision, bonus resources, the taxes and whatnot. You also make it really hard for your opponent to raid your food economy, like really, really hard. Right now, the way that Ramen has positioned this might be a weak spot that might hurt him later on here. And we're actually seeing horsemen coming out from the Chinese without a Song Dynasty here. So this is a very, very off-meta choice here from Ramen.
Valdemar has not seen the stable just yet. He's going to wrap around. We also have Ramen going up to 3 officials instantly. Interesting choices so far, and he did not look at that impressive food spot at the front yet. Let's see Valdemar's base here. How vulnerable is he right now? I mean, he's not on the gold because he's Delhi. We see him opening with the blacksmith there, and the stable Ghazi's coming out, and he instantly cues the range defense.
Yeah, blacksmith range defense. I mean, range defense isn't really going to come into play, at least not until Jugundu come in. But having it nice and early definitely is going to be nice for him. Ramen is okay. He's going for archers. I'm so confused right now. This This is such a wild play. I'm not sure if it's going to work, though, because Valdemar, he's just massing up Gazis right now. Granted, he did invest quite a bit into his like long-term military. Oh, he's adding a barracks. Oh, suddenly it might work out.
Yeah,
Suddenly there's like immediately the count on the field for what Valdemar wants to transition into.
so Valdemar planning to go into Rex and stable. Interesting choice actually against the Chinese, where you would expect to see some Zooks coming out anytime soon. But when he sees that horseman, that single horseman, I must say, I guess he did not see the archery range so far.
Yeah. And Valdemar using this little bit of time right now, in the meantime, in order to lane the deer from Ramen. So he's spreading them out, making sure that if Ramen wants to gather from them, it's going to be very, very inefficient here for him. Yeah, this is just something that could have been avoided if there was a Barbican going up. We're not going to be seeing that yet. Ramen, 4 Imperial officials. Eco upgrade is coming in now with double broadaxe. Up to 8 archers, but there are a good amount of Ghazi Raiders, and Valdemar, he's just having them sitting around the base of Ramen, making sure that he knows what's going on there. Ghazi Raider still busy laming all of those deer, making sure they're going to be as spread out as possible. Ramen just still massing up those archers. Maybe that wants to be like, maybe he wants to get like the shock value in. It looks like the barracks has actually been deleted, so or cancelled at the very least. Now Valdemar is instead going to be opting for an archer play of his own. Makes a lot of sense. Overall, when you mass up archers versus archers, the Delhi Sultanate usually tend to have the upper hand because they do have that that Tower of Victory. So a lot more attack speed to really get the maximum DPS out of their units. Ramen is now adding in his own spearmen. I'm really on the fence about this right now. Like there's no Song Dynasty yet at all, so Ramen, he doesn't really have that great scaling going on here right now. Granted, he does have 4 Imperial officials, so overall economy should be better for him. But I'm not sure, like just looking at the military right now, I don't believe that he really has what it takes in order to stop Valdemar if he wants to go for capture on the sacred sites.
Yeah, the problem is, like, his current economy is slightly better than Valdemar's, but now he has to actually move out, because Valdemar's Sanctity is done. He should be moving out to the Sacreds, and Ramen currently does not have an army that can fight those 8 Ghazi.
There are spearmen coming in, so it's just a matter of time until he will get that army eventually. Blacksmith upgrades are missing. The first one is going to be on its way now. Scout makes it alive, is going to sacrifice the horseman for it. More horsemen now in queue. So army mass is going to continue to scale up. The issue with it, though, is we take a look at the food income right now between these players. Valdemar sitting at almost 700 food per minute. Ramen, 550, so quite a bit further behind. It's going to be difficult for him to really produce as many horsemen or Ghazi Raiders as Valdemar is. And look at that. That's the issue with the mill when it's out like that. The Ghazi Raiders, they're going to find a villager kill, might actually find 2. Awkward pathing here, might potentially find 3 if the pathing... Actually... Valdemar not quite. He was a little bit greedy there. He wanted to get both the villagers. In the end, because of that, is only going to be able to get 1. Behind that, though, double sacred sites have now been captured, and now suddenly the economy here, long term, is going to be looking really, really good for Ramen, for Valdemar. Having a lot of extra gold now. Valdemar probably already thinking about adding in a market relatively soon. Now, as soon as he gets a market in, he's going to be able to just buy resources non-stop with that passive gold income. It's going to be plus 250 gold per minute now for him.
Okay, thought experiment here. You're Valdemar, you see 24 Chinese archers, you know he's not on song. I guess you just stay feudal and pump, and you're fine with that.
That's the main plan with Delhi anyways, right? You just pump. Oh, okay, the wall wasn't finished yet, though. Ramen is going to be able to push inside and is going to be able to decap 1. Nice and early. At the same time, this body blocking, though. Okay, Valdemar is going to lead that section. Archers on archers, and it looks like Ramen actually has the critical mass here in order to force Valdemar away. Some more archers are going to go down here on the retreat. Horseman managing to pick up a nice couple of kills here, and the sacred site is definitely going to get decapped. More spearmen on the way from Ramen. No supervision on that from the looks of it. He's up to 4 right now. Lumber Camp is getting refreshed. And just making maximum use of those Imperial officials right now. Can we actually check the Imperial Academy for Ramen in the landmark and check, see if he's got the examinations, and he does not. I want to then check his mill and see how much gold is remaining in there tax-wise. 73, okay, but
I guess the lumber camp would have even more, right?
Yeah, and we got to remember, like, the mill isn't inside the influence of the Imperial Academy. So that potentially could have been like an additional like 200 gold. And Ramen, he's actually got a market and he's actually buying resources with the gold that he's getting from the taxes. I like that play. I like that play. It's a very all-in play, and it might completely catch Valdemar off guard here. Ghazi Raiders, though, are going to try and find some value on the wood line. Getting one villager there. It's very difficult. You need to at least like keep a couple of spearmen to buy you time inside of your wood line. On your berries, really, since they're rather exposed as well.
Yeah, those berries also, the sheep count will be... Okay, they are pretty much depleted at this point, and you run through the berries real quick, because you're constantly fighting and producing, and then we finally have that fight for that forward position, which is not so nice anymore, because the deer are literally spread out about a kilometer, but... Yeah, we'll see how if Ramen can actually get on that. It's like really scary for him because the food might be in jeopardy now.
I want to say for the most part that Valdemar is pretty much caught up military-wise. I think right now the fight that Valdemar would take here wouldn't be a bad one for him. And we can see he is marching closer and closer. That's a lot of Ghazi Raiders here. Grant, there are a lot of archers, but with this mass of Ghazi Raiders and enough archers to still one-shot the spearmen with the attack speed bonus, Ramen might find himself without spearmen rather quickly. There's an... okay, he wants to go now for those resources for the boar, for the deer there that have been lamed by Valdemar. Ghazi Raiders running around, trying to find damage there as a spearman, but it's rather alone right now. Looks like Ramen is already evacuating his wood line behind that. Where's the military from Ramen in there? Is it not following? It doesn't look like it's following the military from Valdemar here. Yeah, it's still just sitting at the deer, but that's... The Ghazi Raiders might be finding a lot of damage here. Another villager is going to go down. And all of these pickings here every now and then, they really hurt Ramen. In theory, he should be like 3 villagers ahead because of the free Imperial officials, but at the end of the day, he's behind.
I would have said this is, I'm not gonna say fine, but this is okay for him in the sense that if he had Song right now, he would just be making up that difference again. Instead, Valdemar sitting on 2 Sacred Shrines worth about 3 villagers extra each. Yeah, this is not looking great for Ramen. He does sit on that 44 with Steel Arrow Archer Ball, so we'll see if he can make that work. But there's 23 Ghazi now.
Yeah, 23 Ghazi Raiders. It's a lot, right? It's a lot. And there's only 9 Spearmen on the other side. 9 Spearmen versus 23 Ghazi. That's not going to be a fight that Ramen can really win here. And now Valdemar, it looks like he might be realizing he's going forward with one army at the same time. Ghazi Raiders looping around the wood line yet again. And that's more villagers going down. Another villager here. One more villager might be going down there on the retreat. Yes, indeed. That's another villager down. At the same time, Ramen, he's pushing forward, but he's using his spearmen as a front line against the archers, and Valdemar is just picking them up one by one. Villagers still getting sent forward. TC hotkey, rally point hasn't been changed. Valdemar not jumping on that though, but at the end, Ramen, 7 villagers down now. And the archer count is getting even. A couple of horsemen do actually find some villager kills here at least. Yeah. Going on the food, very nice with the amount of Ghazi Raiders that Valdemar wants to be producing here. But the archers! They're going down. A fight is happening. Ghazi Raiders find the archers. We were at 45 archers for Ramen. Already 13 went down. Suddenly Valdemar has the lead in the archer department. 55 to 33 military units. And that's where it's just all kind of falling apart right now for him. Ghazi Raiders just catching up. Yeah, still 10 of them alive.
I was expecting the Ghazi to just flank them from behind, but they're still in the Chinese base.
Ramen, he doesn't know where to go right now with his villagers. There's no safe point for him. He can't really access any resources at this point in the time. And Valdemar, he can just send it in now. And indeed, Ghazi Raiders are gonna be running it in. And Ramen, he's in trouble. This is not recoverable now at this point in time. Unless there's a major screw up on one of the sides happening. And GG is getting called here. Valdemar is gonna be able to take the lead in the set.
Good game. Interesting game plan, I'll say. Very interesting game plan.
Definitely. Very, very off meta. Not something that I would have expected personally, like at all. Forgoing Song completely, going into mass archers against an opponent that wants to make mass Ghazi Raiders. It almost looked like it worked, but I think Ramen, he just kind of missed out on his timing. Like, he made this huge army. He had the military advantage for, I want to say, like the first 3 or so minutes. For the first 3 or so minutes.
Yeah, he was almost doubling up Valdemar at some point.
Yeah, and Yeah, we can tell here. We can see like there's a major military advantage there at the beginning for Ramen, and then he didn't use it. The last fight went really poorly for him. Valdemar, in the meantime, he just managed to pick up villagers here time and time again. In the end, with the last fight, military value for Ramen absolutely plummeting. Valdemar having the lead there by a landslide, and then winning. That's the way Delhi likes to snowball these games.